Hey everyone, this is Carey Archer-Howell with Keller Williams Marketplace in Las Vegas. This is Lux Living with Carey, and I am speaking to one of my closest and bestest friends, who is also a real estate agent and has been in the business for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So we are going to be talking today about, it's March 2026. We are going to be talking a little bit about Lisa and Lisa's story in real estate. We are also going to be focusing on March being Women's History Month, Women's Liberation Month, and how it's affected women in real estate. We are also going to be touching on the subject of also loans for first-time home buyers, down payment assistance, and lastly, we will be talking about personal growth and mindset for women and people in general, and then also how we are going to help our clients in 2026 get into the homes they've been dreaming about for probably years and years and decades, and maybe changing that mindset about being able to own a home rather than feeling stuck and being in a rental for the rest of their lives. So everybody meet Lisa Torres.
Hello.
I'm so happy I'm seeing you.
I'm so excited we're finally doing this. We've been talking about it for since you were getting licensed, right?
Yes.
When I went to go visit you in Vegas at Inman.
Yes.
We were talking about it. So finally we're going to get it done.
Yes. And, a little backstory about me. I'm a baby to real estate still. I've been in real estate less than 5 years. So Lisa was one of my top mentors when I first got in, just because I didn't know what I was doing. But anyways,
I'm so proud of you, because you came in just blazing, crushing goals left and right, and look at you, how quickly you have grown immensely. To go from not just getting your license to where you are today, you should be beyond proud of yourself. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And I'm proud of you too. It's always about supporting each other and sisters and supporting everybody, really. I mean, this is a hard business, and the only way that we win is to support each other and not gatekeep.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So tell me, Lisa, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your real estate journey.
So I actually, I bought my house before I knew anything about real estate. And when I got into it as a lender originally, but got my license, I remembered my experience buying my first home. And I thought, I never want anyone I know. I don't want anyone to ever experience what I experienced, let alone any of my clients, any of my loved ones. And what happened is I was introduced to this predatory broker who was just lied about so many things. And once I discovered, and thank goodness, I just went with my gut instincts and checked up on some of the information he was giving me, found out, they were not true. And luckily I fired him before moving forward. So I did put myself into a good position when I bought, but that has always stuck with me, and it makes me really hypersensitive to to representing my clients as best as possible, so that they're never taken advantage of in that sort of situation. But yeah, then I got into lending originally, moved over to the sales side in about, I think it was right as the crash, the Great Recession was underway. About 2010, I moved over to the sales side. And then I can't imagine going back. I love numbers. I love the loans, but I'm so happy working on the sales side. And it's fun. It can be a lot. It can be a lot, as you know.
Yes.
And our job is basically getting people to the finish line, right? So,
right.
And we know and we understand that how scary it can be just going into this and not knowing what to do, who you can trust, what the pathway is. And honestly, it's more of every pathway is so extremely unique because everyone's situation is unique, right? So it's income and debt and down payment and all of those things. So it's our job to help them find the right path and then help them negotiate through every section through the process to finally getting them the keys. And then that's when we're able to celebrate with them. And it's the best feeling ever. So
that explains why you know so much about loans. I know in the conversations that we've had, you're talking about a lot of lending programs that I don't necessarily know a whole lot about. So that's new. I didn't know that you were in lending before you actually got on the sales side. Mm-hmm, so that explains a lot why you have so much information about lending, and it's such a good tool in your back pocket to actually help your people because you know exactly how to navigate them through that.
And it's always changing. You know, I definitely leave that to my lenders now, but it is helpful in helping them think about things a little bit differently, how to structure the offer, because it can mean such a huge difference from someone moving forward or not. I had a client recently, and we were able to get seller credits and do a little bit of both. So we used half of the credits to do closing cost credits so that he didn't have to come up with so much cash out of pocket. And then we used half of the credits to buy down his rate so that he was more comfortable with the payment. But that strategy came from just really understanding kind of the ins and outs and how we can mold it to fit our clients, situation.
Having that background is super important, and that's such a benefit for your clients. I mean, that's amazing, and it's a matter of winning and losing, right?
Yeah.
So that's so great. Well, and you know what? I forgot to ask you. So what brokerage and what part of California are you in, and what area in California do you service?
So I am with EXP with Team Fast, and we are one of the largest producing teams in Northern California. We service the Bay Area. I still live in Sacramento, but I spend half my time in the Bay Area. I am all over the Bay, from Sacramento all the way to San Jose. So I'm an empty nester now. People ask all the time, like, how do you do this? But honestly, it's because my daughter is now 22. She is doing phenomenally well, and I'm super proud of her. She is actually thinking about going forward with getting her real estate license, so I'm excited to see if she decides to do that or not. But she is working in her field of choice. But yeah, so right now and who knows, I feel like I've had a little bit more calling to move closer to the Bay, but we'll see.
It's kind of difficult. The prices and the difference between Sacramento and the Bay Area prices is different, right?
Oh, immensely. I mean, not just the prices, it's just the way business is done is very different as well. So people in and from the Bay Area, especially certain pockets like Berkeley or Silicon Valley, understand the non-transparent pricing, which is like teaser pricing. And so those and doing things more upfront than in most markets. So for instance, in Sacramento, it's very typical that a seller will put their home on the market without doing any inspections. That is not common in the Bay Area. Most everything is front loaded. Inspections are done while we are prepping the home to list.
Interesting.
So if you have seen some of the headlines, for instance, in January, there was like a article put out by, I believe, NAR about 19% of transactions nationally fell out of escrow in January.
Saw that.
I know I had 3.
I had 2. Ouch. So I'm there with you.
But in the Bay Area, it has bumped up, but only to about 9% versus where things are at nationally. So it's still much, much less. And I think that's because we have most of the fallout that I have experienced and seen throughout my career is from unexpected things that need to be repaired, right?
Okay.
And so when inspections aren't done up front, you don't find out until after you're in escrow. And if you can't negotiate something between buyer and seller, that's when things usually fall apart. So if you do the inspections up front, then you minimize that piece.
Okay, so that makes sense, because I was going to ask you about that. Just how, typically here in Vegas, the buyers are the ones who are doing the inspections, they're paying for that. They're looking for, obviously they're doing their due diligence to see what is wrong with the house or if there's anything that needs to be fixed before they get past that period and move forward with the escrow. So the question was, and I wanted to ask about it because it is very interesting that the sellers are actually the ones doing the inspections in the Bay Area and that it's front loaded that way. Mm-hmm. Now, can you explain what the strategy is for the seller to be able to front load that inspection rather than waiting for the buyer to come in and, to ask for concessions and so forth? So maybe explain the difference.
And I think it really benefits the seller the most, because it is horrible for a seller to come in and think that they're going to net a certain amount and then come up against an issue that is much larger, that is an expensive item that they weren't anticipating, that was either going to be a cost to repair it immediately or have to reduce the price to compensate for that, because once it becomes a known item, it has to be dealt with. It can't be, so ignored. and it can't be ignored. And the buyer, then it is a different value from it not being known.
Right.
Yeah. So then the seller is also not dealing with an unexpected cost that is going to not allow them to move forward. So let's say, there was, which happened to one of my sellers actually recently. They bought their home in 2021 when the market was going crazy. It was in the Bay Area. They did and when you release contingencies, putting an offer in, which means the purchase is not dependent on how the inspections come out, loan, and all of those things, right? So to be competitive, he put in a non-contingent offer. Unfortunately, he didn't do inspections.
No.
And years later, when he was selling, it was a buyer's market who did do all the inspections, and we discovered some leaks that wound up being quite costly.
Oh no!
Because they were leaks where we had to go into the cement slab of the foundation in order to fix it, and it was in a couple of different places. And it was behind the wall. So, I mean, he didn't know, he had not seen it, and things like that happen all the time. Had he done the inspections at the beginning, that's something that would have
been avoided.
Yeah. Wow. That would have been avoided. Absolutely. So,
well, and it's probably smart for all listings, everybody to front load their listings, probably even here in Vegas.
So. I think honestly, so. I think it is really just one of the best protocols to do. Yeah.
I'm going to be taking your advice now. I will be recommending it for sure.
Yeah.
Recommending it for sure. So, okay, well, let's move on to our next subject about it being March. This is Women's History Month. Very issue very close to my heart, and I'm sure yours as well. Dare to say that I'm quite the bit of a feminist. So love helping women do their stuff and own their own homes, and not Facebook, but watching Instagram and everything coming up this month about, I think about the younger generation and the girls, like our daughters that we have, and them not realizing that us having lines of credit or being able to buy houses or getting mortgages on our own as women is a fairly new thing.
Yeah, it came out in 1975 when I was born.
Right, so me too.
Prior to, you had to
ask your husband.
You had to, ask your husband in order to get a line of credit or a mortgage.
Right, and also, even to get a line of credit, if you weren't married, which I'm sure there were plenty of women that weren't married, but to get a line of credit, ironically, in 1975, the banks are asking the women, well, if we give you a line of credit, you promise not to have any children. If we're gonna give you a line of credit,
that they wouldn't be able to work at full capacity and pay it back. It's
right,
insane.
Insane, right? So it is. We are blessed. I mean, we are blessed that you and I were actually born in that year, so we don't really know any different, but so does our daughters too.
But we see it, right? We see it, and we have felt it because there is still a wealth gap, right?
Yes.
And that wealth gap has mainly been because of the barriers for certain races or women not being allowed to purchase real estate. And real estate has been one of the best and largest wealth growers throughout history.
100%.
And so with that being fairly new, there's no wonder why there's such a large wealth gap between those groups, right?
So that's why.
So it's nice to be able to help women buy their first home and start building equity and creating their own legacy.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, I know that's a high driver for me in my business as well. Definitely helping women make that move forward and being able to do it independently. So,
and definitely just, educating these groups even more so about all the other things that go. I feel like home ownership is like step one, right? And then we get into keeping that and growing it over time. And so that means educating them about the importance of a trust, the importance of life insurance, those other tools to keep it and grow it in your family.
Right. So we were speaking a little bit earlier today before we started the podcast about how real estate used to be mostly a male-dominated industry. Mm-hmm. And now we know that the numbers are different. As far as realtors go, women are there are more women in real estate now than there are men. So why do you think women are thriving in our industry? What do you think it is that makes this industry so women are drawn to it, and what are your thoughts on why so many women are thriving in real estate right now?
I mean, if you think about it, because there's less barriers, right? We control how much business we do, and when we have the opportunity to step into these roles and have limitless opportunities, and it is, I think it's also a testament to the abilities that women have always had, right? We have always done great things. We just haven't had the opportunity for as long as men have. So yeah, I think that's
agree.
And we've been though. What do you mean?
Exactly. I mean, I think as women, we have, I don't want to say that we're all born natural nurturers. That is incorrect. That is putting a stereotype on all of us women. That is not true. Not everybody wants to be a nurturer, but mm-hmm. I feel like it may be in our DNA, but I do feel like as women we emotionally connect. We bring the emotional connection within our business, which helps people through the transaction. The transaction is so stressful, right?
Right.
So I know a lot of times, you see the memes on Instagram where we're therapists and we're literally holding hands and making people feel okay, and it's gonna be okay. And I just I feel like women do have that kind of I don't want to say sensitivity, but maybe where we are okay. I don't want to say we're okay with taking the brunt of the stress, but we definitely know, especially us as mothers, like
mm-hmm.
Like we're okay with okay, it's gonna be okay. Let's talk this through. Let's not freak out.
We are natural. The thing is, we have been problem solving forever, right? And that is what we do through a transaction, is because from the very beginning of just getting your offer accepted to going through the inspections to negotiating throughout that process, and getting to those final stages, because there's probably like over 100 negotiations that happen in every single transaction, and that's what we're doing, is we are managing every single one of those little negotiations throughout the way, and keeping everyone's emotions even keel.
In check, trying to make them not feel like
overwhelmed, because it can feel overwhelming. Yes, and the world no one wants to go through.
The world is crashing. Everything is gonna fall apart. Yes.
And one of my teammates said recently, and I love the way he framed this, was we have to pay attention to our own economies, not the world economy, right? And everyone's situation is different. You know, maybe your industry is at risk of job cuts, and it's something to heavily consider. But other folks are in retirement stage, and they have, you know, $1 million worth of equity, and they want to move around to wherever they want to move around to, and they can do it. And so there's always movement happening, right? It's those 4 Ds of life, right? Death, divorce, debt, and I forget the other one. But basically, there's always life changes happening, and so even though there's folks that want to hold on to their, you know, 2.75% interest rate, there's moves happening every day.
Yeah, I see a lot of people making moves and not necessarily holding on to those COVID rates that we had. I know for about a year, maybe year and a half, a lot of people were holding tight, gripping onto those 2.75 interest rates, like this is never going to happen again. But then life happens, and you're like, okay, I want to do something else. So it's okay. Let's just, you know, see what we can do with this. And that's where we come in, is to show them what can you do with this? Like, maybe the 2.57 interest rate is not going to give you as much wealth if we did something else. Your wealth will probably be exponentially more if we leverage the equity you have and do something else with it. So as far as a real estate advisor for women who are looking to get into this career, what kind of advice would you give any woman that's sitting here thinking about, ooh, I love real estate. I watch Selling Sunset. I watch Selling Manhattan. I want to buy that Louis. I want to drive that Porsche SUV. Like, and not necessarily that everybody will have that point of view, but for a woman, new, young, old, older, coming into our industry, what kind of advice would you give them?
Just go for it and have a great team behind you that is supportive, because that is going to make all the difference in the world. It is truly just everything is a learning experience, right? We talk about the growth mindset that we both have had for so long, and when you surround yourself with folks like that, they are going to help you, encourage you. We have someone brand new on our team, and she just landed a listing against a very seasoned agent. And it was because she came in with the right tools, the right attitude, and she showed up in such a strong way. But I feel like she has had such just phenomenal support from the team that gave her that confidence, and through that, it gave her client the confidence to hire her. So it's really about the team behind you and believing in yourself, right? Just like anything else.
Yeah, I agree. Coming into real estate is not easy. We all have...
It's not for the faint of heart.
We all have limiting beliefs in ourselves, for sure. So, coming in with being able to be positive for yourself, number one, most important, to be positive for yourself and then to have a team that supports you too. That is, finding the right team is definitely what you need to do. You definitely need to find your tribe out there. I know I had a little definitely did not have the best tribe to begin with, but do now. So, and that makes all the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, and you definitely want people who are going to lift you up in this business, because there is a lot that can bring you down, right? There is a lot that can bring you down and make you question yourself and question life in general.
Question life daily, minute by minute.
So you definitely need that somebody to say, hey, you know what? Today was a rough day, but tomorrow's a new day and we're just going to start over and you got this, right?
Yep.
So, and that ironically, that brings me to my next question, about supporting each other, right? How important is it for us as women to support, not to
leave men out,
not to include the men. Okay, because all the men are included as well, because this relates to them as well. But how important is it as women for us to support other women in business, not necessarily just real estate, but women in business in general? How what are your thoughts on that, on how important it is to support women in business?
Honestly, I feel like it is so extremely crucial, because I truly believe like real estate and small businesses are the cornerstone, like the foundation of what helps our economy thrive, right? And so supporting women with small businesses is a large part of that. I was actually just preparing to host a workshop with someone who is able to help kind of facilitate helping small business owners get those contracts with the state, where the state is required to do a certain percentage of business with small businesses. With small businesses and women-owned businesses. So keep an eye out for that. I am in the midst of planning that right now.
I love that. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be
amazing. We're probably going to do it. At first, we were going to do it in person at our Oakland headquarters office, but I've decided to maybe take it online first, and especially to be able to have a wider audience throughout the state. So
cool. Yeah. That's so awesome. I can't wait to see that. That would be great. I don't know. I'll come out to check out your event.
Come on out, yes.
I would love to come back to Northern California to check out that event. That would be great. Let's
get you on a flight ASAP.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready for a small vacation. I can always have it be a business trip, but vacation as well. Yes. All right. So we are also, one last topic for today. We are going to talk about, and hello, YouTube followers. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the camera, but hello. Glad you're here on this journey with us. We're having great conversations. So tell me a little bit. We were talking about, so since we're touching the subject that you were in lending before you became a salesperson with real estate. So I think a lot of people would be really interested in tapping into the knowledge that you have with the loans that you have information about.
The down payment assistance program.
Yes, a lot of buyers don't realize, they get so excited. They're jumping onto Zillow, they're jumping onto homes.com and seeing what houses are out there, and they're falling in love, and they're not even thinking about the finance part. They're not thinking about the loan part. They just, I love that, and that's where I want to go. And it's almost like a lot of buyers that I've ran into, that's the part that they're terrified of. They don't even want to. They'll sit here and dream, but to actually really find out what they're qualified for, it seems like the scary part that they're not really looking into, maybe limited beliefs as a buyer, right? Thinking maybe I can't afford this, or there's no way I'll be able to afford a home. So
honestly, that was my perception when I before I bought my home. I don't know if it was I just had not seen it in my immediate family. My mom had been a renter up until that point. Wow. And my brother hadn't bought a house yet. I think he was just maybe at the beginning stages as well, thinking about it. And I had a friend that someone I was dating at the time who had just bought their first home, and I remember just thinking, well, I probably made close to what they're making, not as much, but if they bought this home, a brand new house,
yeah,
I wonder what I could do.
Right.
And so when we talk about, you literally just have to start the conversation. That's all you have to do, because there are things that can be done. So I didn't know what was possible. I also didn't know what it took. But luckily I was able to pull it together. So
wow.
With FHA financing, all you have to do is put 3.5% down, and those gifts that can be gifted funds as well from family, friends, whatever. Right. So we were able to come up with a 3.5% down, and then the closing costs that I didn't know about or expect was credited from the seller.
Oh, wow.
So we were just coming out of a recession at that time, which I didn't really understand recession. I was early 20s, and
right.
And I think it was probably like the first one of my adult life that I had known about. So coming out of that, the seller was really eager to get to move on to their next chapter, and able and willing to help us with closing cost credits, and that's how we got in, honestly. Wow. But there's another program coming up, I believe the very beginning of April, which is called the Middle Income Down Payment Assistance Program, and it's available in California, Arizona, and Nevada.
Yay!
So
awesome.
You guys have it. You guys should have it available in your state as well. And it is one of the best down payment assistance programs that I have seen out there, because it is literally free money. And so it is a $50,000 grant that is forgiven immediately. Wow. You don't have to stay in the house for 3 to 5, 10 years. It's not a silent second. It doesn't have to be repaid. And there's not any restrictions of you have to keep like I said, you don't have to keep the house for an extended amount of time, right, to not have to pay that back. It is forgiven immediately. So it is, in my opinion, one of the best that I've seen out there. There's certain restrictions to it. So I would just say reach out and see if you qualify for that. But it does go extremely fast. So this is for someone who is ready. They are ready to submit an application with the lender today and start shopping tomorrow, because
hold on, Lisa. I think we should reset. I'm gonna pause this recording.
Okay.
Because I'm having and then we'll talk about this again. Because okay. I am having a coughing fit, and I'm coughing all over you.
Oh no. Are you okay? Get some water, girl.
Okay. Hold on. Pause. Okay, we are going to... Actually, I'll just have her edit it. So we will restart that. Recording is still going. That's okay. I'm getting over a cold, so I just started having a fucking coughing fit. Oh my God.
That's okay. Your makeup looks amazing.
Girl, I got a filter on. Shoot. I have how as 50-year-olds, we gotta put the filter on. I mean, I kind of feel a little more filtered on the screen than I am on
YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube over here. So, sorry. We are let's revisit that. So I'll just have her.
Yeah,
I'll have my girlie.
I think I was pretty much done. I was just talking about. I do believe that is one of the best down payment assistance. Out there.
And you know what? That is valuable information, and I was coughing all over you when that was happening. So I think we should just we'll start over to cut 2 on that one. So let's talk about your down payment assistance. And you said you had a couple loans that are available in Nevada and California and a couple other states. Tell me about that.
The middle income down payment assistance program is available in California, in Nevada, and a few other states. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but since we are discussing California and Nevada specifically right now, let's just focus on that. And it is a program that's those funds will be available, I believe, beginning of April. So I am going to be doing a webinar next week to get more information on it.
Cool.
And I'll send you the link so that you have that as well for your clients out there. And it is it's amazing because at $50,000, if you think about it, for let's say a $500,000 home, right, which is very doable in Vegas and lots of parts in California, that could mean a difference of I mean, you're putting nearly 10% down on a $500,000 loan, right? So
and you said you don't have to pay that back, or
it is forgiven the minute you close escrow, which is, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because so in California, we have a popular down payment assistance program right now that's coming up. It's called the Dream for All. However, there's so many restrictions on that, and it is only a silent second. And not only do you have to pay back all of that money, plus some of your equity. So I am not a fan of that one as much. I think it's great if you really want to get into home ownership and greatly reduce your monthly payment for a while. But it's I mean, with this one, with the middle income one, the grant, you are just immediately stepping into equity versus the other one where once you start to earn equity, you've got to pay all of the original amount back plus some.
Yeah. So the new program sounds great. Yes, definitely share the link so I can share the link with everybody over here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They can click on that. I will also I'm sure you have preferred lenders. I have preferred lenders as well. So definitely anybody who's seeing this and is saying, oh, 50 grand for free? Maybe that's a good idea.
Now
tell
is
you
the
that,
time. Take advantage. It does go extremely fast. So last year, I want to say the funds were depleted in less than 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So
Yes.
that's why I say this is for someone who is ready right now. They have already started thinking about buying a home, and because it's not something that will be around, in 2 to 3 months from now. Hopefully we'll be back next year. But for this year, it's going to go very quickly.
Yeah. Any of our people or people we don't know who are ready to go.
Feel free to reach out. Let us know.
Anybody wants to move to Vegas or move to Northern California, we are definitely and outside of that, we have referrals outside of state too. So not necessarily that you have to move into either one of our areas, but we know a lot of people. Yeah, we know a lot of people. We can help you guys take advantage of that program too, as long as it's in that state. So, and of course, we both have preferred lenders that will have access to these loans as well. So, so we are getting close to the end of our show today. So, I have some quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
Coffee or tea during the work days?
Coffee, always. Like, still, even on it's Saturday.
Right?
On it.
Right? I know. Yes. It's crazy. Like, see, me too.
Yeah.
Coffee. Yes. Coffee or tea during the work days, definitely. Coffee. Sometimes I think, like, should we get into tea? Maybe
I love tea. I have a great tea person that has these amazing blends. And tea for me, I sip on tea more of course, in the evenings without caffeine. It's more of a calming drink for me. Yeah. So, and during the early work weeks, I need all the energy possible. Yeah. I love my coffee. And I just love the smell of it. I'm addicted to the scent and the warmth and all those things.
Me too, girl. I'm there with you. Okay, second question. One tool that helps you stay productive in your business. One tool.
I would say sticking to my calendar as much as humanly possible. So I really do try and schedule everything because our days can just get away from us. So yeah, it's really, and I try and front load my day as much as I can, because if I let things get past noon, it just feels like there's more emergencies that come up that I can't then still incorporate those high priority things throughout the day. So if I get them done super early in the morning, or between 9-10, I just feel like my day flows so much better.
Yeah, no fire. Well, putting out the fire is late.
Yeah, the fires will happen.
The fires
as long as we get to the important things early.
Whether it's in the calendar or not, there's always a fire, right?
There's always a fire, no matter what.
Okay, and third question. What is the best advice you have received in real estate?
Oh, goodness. There's so many gems dropped daily. I am trying to think of the best gem. I'll say two things. One, as a consumer, buy as soon as you can. Time in the market is better than trying to time the market ever. Yeah. I would say also, as a first-time home buyer, one thing that I wish I would, so I am really proud of the first purchase I made and how that went. It was a very light cosmetic fixer. It had just great bones. And I think that is a good way to go if you know, as far as earning more equity sooner. But one of the things that I really tried to teach more is getting in on a multifamily, whether it be, sometimes it's hard to do like a triplex or a fourplex because of the costs and the availability, right. But like buying a duplex as a first-time home buyer and being able to get in with only 3.5% down and having the second unit, the income from that help you qualify for the home is such a great opportunity. And what I have seen throughout my career is most people buy their first home, even if it is like a smaller home and they do earn equity, it is so much harder to get into an investment property after buying your first single family, because then you have to have 20% of down payment versus 3.5%, right? So
yeah.
So if and most of the times, I know I was coming from a small apartment, you know, buying my first home. So if you just make that sacrifice for a little bit longer and stay in a smaller space for just like another 2 years, that is going to just pay off immensely throughout, you know, the longevity of your you know, acquiring your real estate portfolio. So I would say, you know, buy as soon as you can. If you can, as a first-time home buyer, get into maybe a duplex first and then get into your single-family home. And as far as being in the industry, I would say surround yourself, like we talked about earlier, just, you know, surround yourself with the people that support you.
100%.
Because, you know, it is a tough business. So surround yourself with a good tribe.
Right. Well, I mean, those are great golden nuggets. Obviously, if you are a first-time home buyer, you need to hire a seasoned real estate agent like Miss Lisa Torres here. She will not lead you the wrong way. That is probably some of the best advice for any first-time home buyer, is to try to get a duplex or a multi-unit and live in it for a couple years and then turn it into something else, because turning that 20% on the second home can be done, but why not start from the very beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your tribe really matters in business and in life, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm happy you're part of my tribe, Lisa.
Same. I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. We're getting all, you know, touchy-feely here. So.
And it was so good seeing you for your birthday.
I know. Yay. Yes. Backstory, Lisa and I have known each other way before real estate ever happened.
To either one of us.
We both were born in 1975, so that tells you how old we are. So we've been knowing each other early 90s for all you millennials and whatever all you Gen Z or whoever it is. I don't even know who the new generations are that are wearing our styles from back in the 90s. You know what I mean?
The ones making fun of us of like, you were born in 19 what?
Yeah, making fun of us, but then dressing like us too at the same time. I don't get it, right?
Yeah, so, taking our music like yacht rock. Exactly. Yacht rock is hello,
right? And not really knowing how
recycling what we had.
Exactly, and not really knowing how down Gen X really is. So, but anyways, I'm so happy that you are the first person I did our podcast with.
Me too. I'm super honored.
You know, and it's really awesome. We're gonna have to do this again, and then next time we'll talk about like the difference between Vegas market and California market, maybe how buyers and sellers can navigate different markets moving from one state to the next, but that'll be our next show. So,
okay.
But I love you, girl. I'm so happy. So everybody, thank you for coming and sitting with me and Lisa. This is Lisa Torres with EXP. Tell me your team's name again.
Team Fast.
Team Fast. So if you're looking for Northern California, Bay Area, Central Valley, Lisa is...
We got you covered.
Lisa is the person to go to. And of course, I am Carey Archer-Howell with Keller Williams Marketplace here in Las Vegas. I serve all of Southern Nevada, Henderson, Las Vegas, outside areas if you want to live rural. So we are so happy that you are here with us today, and come with us and live the Lux life. This is what we do, and this is what we love to do. So thank you, Lisa. I love you.